Let's talk anime. Hello and welcome to Brandon's Discuss Anime, a 15 plus Reckless Amoeba podcast. I am your host, Brandon Horvath, and with me are my co-hosts, Brandon Falinger.
I'm a thing. It exists, I think.
Yes.
I'm excited.
We all exist.
Do we, though?
In some way, shape, or form.
Sure.
Also with us, as usual, Ryan Shockley.
That's me.
So guys, it's been a while since we did one of these.
Has it? It has.
Been a minute.
We've done a few Movie Maker podcasts, but we haven't had this since I believe the Halloween specials. So I was a little bit surprised, Brandon. You didn't know anything about the upcoming Digimon movie?
Yeah, I had no idea that there was a thing going on. I haven't even finished Try, technically, so I had no idea.
Well, this is labeled as Ty's last adventure. You know, before the series gets rebooted in April.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a good thing or not, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if that series getting rebooted is good or not.
From what I've seen, and this is just like one or two stills, like most of the characters' outfits seem to be the same, except Sora's for some reason. Yeah, Sora. She seems to be wearing some kind of white shirt instead of blue?
I don't know. I haven't actually looked at it myself yet. It could be like it could be because Sora's technically supposed to be the love interest for Tai. That they're giving her a little bit more to work with, you know?
I don't know.
Not sure though.
So there was a My Hero Academia movie that just got released in Fathom. I saw that Tokyo Godfathers is going to be in Fathom. I believe it's next week. I think it's the week of the 15th.
It's weird that Tokyo Godfathers is getting in there. Just because that's a Christmassy movie.
Yeah.
Why does that sound familiar?
We reviewed it.
That's why.
I think
that's about the kid, right?
About the miracle child, yes.
Yeah, the kid. Well, isn't the kid in the city? It's like basically like the retelling of I don't know.
I think that you're thinking of Tick on Concrete.
About the like homeless kid.
Yeah, you're thinking. Well, no, there are three homeless people that are saving a child.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of because it's basically the story of Jesus in the manger. Right?
Yep, okay. It's kind of that way.
All right.
With a weird take on it, but yes.
And
I think I may have teased it as Japanese 3 Men and a Baby.
I can't deny that there's a connection.
Oh, damn it, dude.
Oh my god. Yeah, I think that was holiday season 2018.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm surprised I remember that, to be honest.
Oh man, but yeah, welcome to season 5, or what I'm considering season 5. Divide this up into seasons to make this easier for me to category.
It's weird.
Yeah.
There's no real connection to anything going on here. There's no rhyme or reason, just whatever's convenient.
Yay, convenient. So anything going on with you guys?
Nothing crazy, no.
I've been playing this game, Northgard.
I looked at that game. Is that any good?
It's fun. It's like a RTS, but almost like a board game, but not. Like there's like Settler of Catan elements. It's pretty interesting. It's fun though. Pretty much just play against the computer. It could be up to 4 versus 4. And then you can go against other people if you want, but I'm not ready for that.
I'm not ready for that. I can't do it. I'm not good enough yet.
There's like 10 different tribes or clans you can pick. Each get different perks. And you pretty much just prepare for winter and you collect wood, food, the whole RTS shit.
Yeah, yeah.
And then each tile that you take gives you food, more wood, or like stone or iron. And you have to build buildings like a hunter's shed if there's deer on that
Ooh, okay.
thing, or like a fisherman's hut if there's a pond on the piece you took.
Mm-hmm.
It's really fun.
It sounds like it'd be interesting.
And you can win by getting rune power, fame, or win by conquering the map. So you don't even have to. You can like just sit and defend your base while you mass like reputation, and then random events happen which can really screw you over, like a rat infestation. You lose all like your food goes down. Harsh winters where everything like the consumption of food and wood is like tripled.
Yeah.
And then there's like kraken attacks because you can build ports, which give you money, and it's really cool. I don't know. I'd recommend it. I forget how much it is. I think it's like 35 or something. I think it's worth it. And then there's like other clans you could buy for like $5, but you don't need them.
Interesting.
Like the starter ones are really good.
Yeah, I was getting back into Darkest Dungeon for a bit, and that's taken a back seat for now. But I ended up I've been hitting up Monster Hunter again for a bit because I haven't even touched Iceborne.
Yeah, my nephew's been playing that again.
So I got that, and I'm like, all right, cool, let's get in there. But I haven't had much time just because with the new puppy around, I can't sit down for long periods of time.
Hold on, Benny, you just got really crackly. What have you been playing?
Dicey Dungeons.
Okay.
Yes, playing Dicey Dungeons. That's a fun game. Honestly, it feels like it's a game somebody was playing before and just converted into like a video game. Like it feels like it's a real rule set for a game.
Like a board game or?
Yes, it feels like a tabletop game that you could play without being a video game. Like it is really nice. With really stupid shit. We were talking about it before, like where there's a run that I literally turned into a bear because I stole a potion from one of the enemies. I was playing that, and I've also been playing Don't Starve on the Switch.
Oh, I got Don't Starve together on Steam.
Oh, that sounds nice. I haven't tried. Those are separate games then, huh?
Yeah. If you buy one, you get one free.
Okay, at least
it's
on
like 15. Yeah, on Steam it's
Steam anyway.
I've been playing Epic Battle Fantasy 5. I haven't played that in a while, and I finally beat it and am going through trying to beat the bosses on Epic mode now that I'm level 31-ish. And it's technically New Game Plus, so trying to get all those Steam achievements. Okay?
The obsession is real.
Yeah, it's kind of fun since you can summon any enemy monster in the game, but you have to catch them Pokemon style.
Mm-hmm.
Like, get them to low enough HP, give them enough status effects, and yeah, it's hard now that I'm level 31, trying to capture some of the weaker enemies I don't really have when I'm killing them 10 times over with one hit.
You're just a cruel and unusual mastermind, aren't you?
Kind of. But speaking about cruel and unusual masters, how about we move into today's theme episode of the day. Something.
Oh, you mean New Year, New JoJo?
Yes.
No.
No, Ryan.
Were you reviewing JoJo?
Yes. Part 4.
No.
So
the show.
Now that you know it's JoJo.
I hear my mom calling me.
I gotta go. I can't do this. I can't take the insanity. Oh, believe me, you thought the last one was bad. All right, this one just goes full tilt into the insanity.
Yes. So, Ryan, Diamond is unbreakable.
That sounds like a 007 movie.
It kind of does.
Is that the name of the season?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, Diamond is unbreakable. Are they go to South Africa and stop the mining? What's going on? I don't know. I think I did watch like an episode or two of JoJo's. When I understand, he lives with a step family or adopted family.
I think you're thinking of Dio.
Dio?
If it's part 1.
The blonde guy?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I watched that. I think it was like the first episode or something.
Yes.
I don't know.
Very first episode.
Yeah, I started watching some of it.
And just getting this out of the way, since JoJo's is such a massively long franchise in itself, this was originally in manga from May of 92 to December of 1995. And the anime dropped, when was it, Brandon? 2 years ago?
What, this one?
Yes.
More than that. 2 years ago is, I think, when Vento Ario started. So part 5. So this one probably started a little longer. A little further back than that. 4 years ago, maybe?
Yeah, 4 years ago. 2016.
I thought so.
So, April 2016 to December 2016 with a 39-episode run.
That's way better.
Damn.
Okay, do you remember the, oh my god, older JoJo? He was the grandfather of the third JoJo Jotaro.
I don't recall that.
Joseph Joestar. Well, this is about his son.
Okay.
His illegitimate son, who is in high school.
Gotta love that scumbag Joseph Joestar. He's our favorite. Cheating on his wife, so he has an illegitimate son. And the only reason he finds out is because all of a sudden he was looking into like who's getting his inheritance, and it's like, wait a minute, what? Like, here's the thing. Because of Josuke's age, that means I think it's like 4 years. Yeah, it would be 4 years, because he was 4 years old when Stardust Crusaders was happening. So part 3 was going on when Josuke was 4. 4 years prior to that, Joseph is fucking around on his wife without his wife with some other woman in Japan.
And in that case, Joseph is in his late 50s, early 60s?
Something like that, yeah. With a girl that's like 18.
What the hell?
I mean, from what I remember, he was supposed to be teaching some kind of class, and she was a student there, and that's how that happened.
Okay.
According to the JoJo Wiki, he was 65.
Yeah.
So, I'm just posting in chat our the two combinations, because we have literally a JoJo that is straight up based on Prince. Like, the looks and everything, he is just straight Prince, but whiter.
I never knew that.
Obviously, the uniform's a little different because it's more closely revolving around what Prince is wearing in that image, but it's essentially just Prince.
Yeah.
And this season takes place around Japan. Specifically, one quiet town.
Called Morio.
Wario?
Morio with an M.
Oh, Morio.
Or if you're going by the bootleg Chinese translation, Duwang, which is a meme in itself.
So, like, the first half or so of this is just them fucking around the town and finding weird shit. Outside of just like, oh, hey, look, there's a bow and arrow that when you shoot somebody, they can get a stand if they're strong enough. They can get their punch ghost on.
Punch ghost?
That's what a stand is, basically. Except they've all got weird powers. For instance, we have our best friend, Mr. Meathead himself, Okuyasu, who has a stand called The Hand, which anytime it, I believe the actual term they call it is scraping. Every time it scrapes something, it sends whatever it scrapes to another dimension. And, like, fixes it so that it's like the thing was never there.
So it can pull objects closer to you.
Like, because it scrapes the air, and the air fixes itself so that it comes together, like the thing that's gone was never gone to begin with. And because of that, the air pressure being forced to fill that gap is pulling objects. Another thing it showed that really showed off that ability was when, like, it scraped a sign, and let's just say it said, like, for sale, and it scraped away the L. All of a sudden, it's for say, like SAE together now, because the L's gone. And the E has moved in place to fix that.
But the thing is, you're thinking, wow, that's so overpowered. I could probably think of many amazing uses. I could just dominate everything with this. Well, Okuyasu doesn't, because he's an idiot.
He is dumb. He is super straightforward. Any clever way you could think to use that thing? Yeah, the best he gets is literally that air pressure example where he just scrapes the air and drags something closer to him. Any kind of clever use of the hand is impossible for him without someone helping him. He is not smart enough to figure it out or think of it. But we also have our main character, Josuke, who has the stand Crazy Diamond, whose ability is straight up to fix things or to return things to their previous form. So let's say he punches a motorcycle. That motorcycle will then heal itself back to its original state before it was damaged. He can do that to people and they can get healed that way.
Except himself.
Yes, he cannot heal himself. That is the only thing. He can heal everything and anything else but himself.
Huh.
Which, you know, when we find a stand that is called Bad Company that straight up is like a tiny fucking military, and he's getting shot full of tiny bullet holes, and literally Apache chopters and tanks come in shooting missiles and tank fire at him. He can't heal himself.
I just love the fact that, and I know I may have mentioned this during our Stardust Crusaders review, but they're saying it in Japanese, yet the subtitle is the quote-unquote censored version to avoid copyright.
Mm-hmm.
So
like Crazy Diamond is changed to Shining Diamond.
And Bad Company is Worse Company.
It's still holding on to them. There are so many of those that are terrible, and then there's ones that actually I am cool with. Like, one of them is called Echoes. The censored version is called Reverb. Reverb is a pretty cool name. I am down with that change. We find out that stands can now evolve as the character's mental fortitude evolves. In the case of Echoes, we have 3 different forms of him, and his stand user is just straight up Gohan from fucking the Cell Saga.
And I wanted to mention this to you, but is Echoes black? Because
that is a solid question because of the way he talks.
Because there is one line, he says, in English, Okay, Master, let's kill the hoe.
It could, and Koichi's like the whitest, kindest person ever, but his stand is just an asshole. He's constantly spelling out like curse words.
SHIT
Or BITCH. Like, also, that's another point. Stands can literally develop their own personality, I guess, or consciousness to a degree. That's also introduced in this with Echoes. Because once he hits the third stage, he start like actually talking. Whereas before it was just regular grunts and groans with most of the stands. And Koichi's Echoes has multiple different abilities depending on which version it is. What is it? Act 1 could make noises on people. Like it would slap the kanji, like the onomatopoeia, like the sound pow, and it would start making that sound.
As if they actually got hit.
Yep. There also seems to be like a slight change in that too, in that like depending on what it is, it could also influence people's minds. Like when he saves himself from the dude who's got the lock stand, where he slaps like the words "believe me" onto his mom, and those like reverberate in her mind. Also, yes, there's a lock stand that gets heavier and harder the more guilt you feel, so long as it's attached to you. To the point where you might just become suicidal.
Ryan, your thoughts?
They're called stands?
Yes.
Because they stand next to you.
Okay.
As said in part 3.
And they're basically like, how do you acquire them?
You are either born with them, or in this revelation, you can be shot with a magic arrow, which will then potentially give you a stand if you are strong enough. If you are not, you will just die.
So that's how Dio, in part 3, acquired an army of stand users so fast.
It's also how he awakened his own stand.
Oh, really?
Flash Jonathan's, yes. He got it through the arrow. He didn't have it himself. He got it through that arrow. Like that's how that happened.
So they're basically like pets with powers, since most of them grunt and don't actually speak.
Most of them are just like grunts and groans and like battle shouts. They don't actually speak.
Do the owners understand them?
They don't have a consciousness usually of their own.
Okay.
We've only just been getting that with part 4 showing that as a thing.
Okay.
And technically Anubis from part 3, but he didn't even have a master. His master was dead.
So the underlying plot is they need to stop a serial killer.
Yes, there's a serial killer hiding in the town.
Oh, okay.
Who just wants to live a quiet life.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, is it post killings?
Yes, he's killed like I don't even know if we have a number on how many he's killed. It's a lot.
But it's been happening for 15 years secretly.
Mm-hmm. And it's only it's only when they start looking into it, they start to realize, wait a minute, there's a way higher amount of missing people in this town than there is nationwide. The rate, even in the closest town over, it's way higher than that.
Nobody suspects him?
The killer? No. Because he's basically got that down pat idea of just blend into the background. Don't stand out. Just be average.
And he even monologues how average he wants to be.
Yes. There's a point when they get into his house, and all he has are like third place trophies. That's it. He has no second, no first, all third place. And as they're like studying stuff in his house, they're like, he just blends into the background. Like nobody notices him. What is going on? He's just so painfully average.
And this is the season that has Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yes.
The electrical bass stand.
You'd think it'd be fire. Nope. Electricity. To the point where it's riding a motorcycle and being charged by the battery of that motorcycle.
What the hell? So they can interact with real life?
Yes.
Real objects? Okay.
Oh, yeah. They can make impacts in the ground, but anyone that's not a stand user can't see it. They can see the results of what they do. They can't see the stand itself.
Okay.
So if, like, somebody punches somebody in the face, the person watching that is just going to see that person take an invisible hit and then go flying. If they, like, punch a wall, they're just going to see the damage left on that wall and the guy standing nearby. That's it. The guy didn't move. Just all of a sudden, a punch mark in the wall.
So, since Food Wars Season 5 has been officially announced for... Oh crap, I forget when. Ryan, do you remember Food Wars?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, we're going to this part.
That's
okay.
like my favorite anime that we've covered so far.
So, how do you think Food Wars would go if it was a stand user?
Oh, dude, that'd be pretty cool. I could see it being just like the chef's assistant.
It kind of is.
But you don't see it. Like, even regular stand users don't see it because it's super small.
Oh, really?
Pearl Jam.
Wait, hold on. So, they're not human size?
Some are, not all of them.
And no one can see them.
Nobody can see them unless they're a stand user. But in the case of Pearl Jam is even tinier than that. You'd be lucky if it's like half the size of your fingernail.
Damn, dude.
And Sex Pistols, those were the size of normal bullets.
Yep. The bullet head, not like the whole cartridge or anything.
What use were they in the show?
In the case of
use them.
In the case of Sex Pistols, they ride the bullets and then kick the bullets to start like redirecting them.
Wait, the humans do?
No. Sex Pistols is a stand. Sex Pistols rides a bullet shot from a regular gun and can then redirect those bullets by kicking it.
Okay.
In the case of Pearl Jam, it starts messing with the people's body that it goes into. There's an entire episode called Let's Eat Italian Food, where they go to an Italian restaurant where the user of Pearl Jam is cooking their food, and everything that's made is super delicious, and we have ridiculous, over-the-top Food Wars reactions.
But not that sexualized.
Not sexualized. Almost kind of horrifying, actually. Like, teeth literally firing out of your mouth like bullets. But they're the teeth with cavities, and you start regrowing new ones. There's one where literally you drink the water, and all of a sudden your eyeballs are becoming raisins as you cry out all the liquid in your body, only to then be rehydrated a second later. Like, the insanity in which, I swear, if Food Wars was not like inspired by that episode of Part 4, I don't know what the hell it was inspired by.
And you think the Italian guy is evil because he acts so shady throughout the entire episode.
To the point where, like, Josuke starts creeping into the kitchen and sees, like, a dog eating the food and being destroyed from the inside out. Like, its intestines shoot out. And then when he looks back, the dog's, like, in perfect health again.
And the chef comes at him with a knife. What are you doing here? You should really wash your hands before you set foot in my kitchen.
Yeah, he starts freaking out that Josuke's in there with a knife, like he's threatening them. And then all of a sudden it changes, like, your perspective, like he's just handing him a bar of soap. It's like, you need to wash your hands before you're in here.
This is an awesome anime all the way through. Part 1, 2, 3, 4. I should really read Part 5 because they're I don't even want to say midway, but they're into Part 8 now with no discernible ending.
Nobody knows where that shit's going, as far as I know of. Do we want to talk about the other great stand in this? Earth, Wind, and Fire?
Okay, Ryan, if you thought your brain was kind of broken from anything else in this anime, we have an alien who may not be an alien, but tells everybody he is one.
See, here's thing, right?
Uh-huh.
They literally find him laying in a crop circle. He's apparently allergic to the sound of sirens.
What the hell?
His ability, whether or not it's a stand or not, is up for debate, is to transform himself into any object that is his size or smaller, and he can only exert while in that form strength that he himself would be able to exert. So if he's a transforms into like a mini bulldozer or something, he could still push like a rock or something out of the way if he could have done that in his like humanoid form. He literally, Josuke at one point brings out his stand to try and punch him, but the alien Nikitaka does not even seem to register it exists. Because they think he's a stand user, but he does not register that it's there. But he has these weird abilities.
And stand users could see stands. So if he doesn't see Crazy Diamond, he might not be a stand user.
Well, it's funny because he gets shot with the arrow, but unlike everyone else where the arrow actually pierces him, he gets like a nick in his neck and it goes flying off in another direction like it hit a wall.
And the thing is, his mother says, "Oh, are you telling that crazy story about you being an alien again? Come on, time to go." And Nikitaka whispers to Josuke, "Hey, I brainwashed this woman to make her think I'm her son."
And it's never answered. It's never answered whether or not he's actually an alien or a stand user. He claims he can bring down his ship, but it's far enough away that it'll take like 3 Earth days for it to show up.
Is he an alien or not?
I don't fucking know. The authors never come out and said either way. It's the same way as like when you get Josuke's backstory of why he has that pompadour. He wears it because as a child, when he was sick during that whole stand issue during part 3, there was a delinquent kid who had a pompadour like that literally pushed their car when they were stuck in the snow, so they could get to the hospital. And while he doesn't remember what the guy looked like, he remembers the hairdo. So now his hair always looks like that.
So, and he gets really, really enraged when anybody insults his hair.
You do notice, though, that like after about halfway through, that stops being a thing. Like, they stop insulting his hair.
Right, which Rocky forgot?
Either that or it just doesn't become a real big thing anymore.
I'm just wondering, why do everybody have, like, giant golden accessories somewhere on their clothing?
You gotta pimp out your school uniform somehow. You gotta make it unique to you.
And how many hats did JoJo have? He had, like, 3 or 4 different hats, each with their own, like, bling on it.
Uh-huh. Well, hey, man, he went from being a high schooler to being a marine biologist, etc., etc. You gotta change with the times, man.
Oh, yeah. Ryan, JoJo from part 3, Jotaro, he's now a marine biologist.
What?
He also, since he hasn't used his stand much, has reduced how long he can actually stop time. I think his max at the end of part 3 was 5
he also
seconds?
gained the ability to stop time along with Theo.
Yeah, I want to say it was like 4 or 5 seconds he had, but it's been reduced now to like 2.
I actually think during the climax of the fight, Theo could do 8 seconds, Jotaro could do 10 seconds.
No, Jotaro couldn't do 10 seconds. It was way less. He had like less than 5 or 4.
Oh, that's
Dio
right.
was hitting 10, and Jotaro had to time when to activate his to be able to turn things around on Dio.
That's right, that's right.
So yeah, it's been reduced due to lack of use. Or at least that's the official story, who knows? Araki may have forgotten, and this is just his way of being like, yeah, that's why. So yeah, let's also go back to Nikitaka for a second, to where my favorite part of this series is. Where Josuke goes to battle, or I should say, he goes to gamble with this other character, Rohan, who is guaranteed the self-insert character for Araki. And they, like, do not like each other. So Josuke is just like, I'm low on money. Look, let's play a wager, all right? I know you want to do this because you want to kick my ass or whatever. You'd love to see me poor with nothing to spend. So let's play this little dice game I've got. And,
Gambling!
And that way, you can strip me of all my money, or perhaps I get something back. So Rohan being like, oh, I'd love to do this to Josuke, and it would be perfectly legal. I'm in. Goes through it to the point where, like, what is it? He's using a magnifying glass to look at the dice because the dice have become Nikitaka, the alien that can transform into things, and they keep rolling like the numbers for Josuke to win and not lose. So it's like, I'm very suspicious of these dice. And then by the end of it, he's so intent on the game, his entire house is burning down around him because of his magnifying glass, magnifying sunlight onto the house and starting a fire.
So Rohan's house is burning down around them, and he couldn't give a damn because he is so intent on figuring out how Josuke is cheating.
My house is burning down around. It's that meme of this is fine, except it's more, I don't give a fuck. How are you cheating?
Oh my god.
Rohan also has a stand, which is insane. It's called Heaven's Door. He can literally use it to open up your skin and read you like a book. Because when he uses it, he can lift up your skin, and there are pages detailing your entire life in there. And then he can edit those pages to do whatever he wants with you. For instance, he could just write in, can't attack Kishibe Rohan, and all of a sudden, you can't do shit to fight him. You can't throw a punch, you can't do anything that would harm him directly or indirectly. At least that you were aware of. So if you tell somebody and you don't know if that person's going to try and attack Rohan, you could be able to do that because you don't know for sure what's going to happen. But if you do, you can't do it. You're not allowed. It says so in your pages. Hell, I'm assuming he could also change your physical aspects too if he wanted to. He could cross out you have blonde hair and write down you're a brunette.
But it gets even more intense when the main villain shows up.
Oh, yes. For instance, I think, what was it? One of the first times we see him directly, he shows up in the background of most of the early episodes. Or not most, but some of the early episodes. But when we actually start focusing on him, we find him with his girlfriend, let's say, which turns out to be the severed hand of a woman he's killed. And he's just randomly taking it out in public in like a sandwich shop, and then he accidentally, like, the finger pokes through one of the sandwiches and he like licks off some of the sauce that gets on it. And it's like, well, I guess we can't have this sandwich. Let's get another one.
He has a serious hand fetish.
Little bit.
So Ryan, at this point, would you be willing to watch this? I mean, like, after you watch...
I actually I've been watching some anime every now and then after work. Just random ones. So, I think I'll watch it. I'll watch it from the beginning.
Because each part of JoJo is pretty much self-contained that you could watch it by itself.
4 and 5 are probably the most self-contained.
Like, you mean season? Or like episode? Okay.
Technically seasons, yeah. Whatever one has the new subtitle.
Okay.
Whether it's Stardust Crusaders, Diamond is Unbreakable, or the newest one, Vento Ario.
And there's also the manga exclusive ones at this point. Like the 3, 2, and a fraction other ones.
Like Stone Ocean, Steel Ball Run, and I forget what part 8 is. JoJolian, that's right.
But let's get into the main
villain
thing where there is this serial killer told to them by a ghost.
Yoshikage Kira. Yes, a ghost. The first murder that he's ever done.
She is down this alleyway that only dead people and stand users could see.
Yeah, it seems like that's what it's alluded to. I don't know how true that is. That's definitely what it's led to believe, though.
Yeah.
I don't know if regular people can, like, get down there.
this guy, Yoshikage Kira, he has a bomb-based stand.
Mm-hmm. He has 2 bombs.
The first bomb, anything he touches, or his stand, Killer Queen, touches, becomes a bomb.
Mm-hmm.
For example, your computer mouse, he could turn into a bomb.
And here's the thing, right? If a person gets turned into a bomb or anything else, only a stand user will hear this. Actually, no, there's not even a sound to it. Nobody can hear the sound. There is no sound for the explosions. But it also reduces you to literal nothingness, like dust, essentially. And it hits the thing like it's a bomb trigger in its hand. That's how it triggers the bomb to explode.
And he has a second bomb
called Sheer Heart Attack.
Yes, that is another reference to the band Queen. And Sheer Heart Attack is a tank that tracks down people and blows up.
It follows them via heat source, so it's following by infrared. Whatever's hottest, it goes toward. It can be used at any distance because it's automatic. It just does whatever it needs to do. It doesn't need any kind of interaction from the user outside of, essentially summoning and dismissing.
So Kira could be halfway across town and Sheer Heart Attack could still be following you.
Yeah, you just gotta not get near a hotter heat source for it to follow instead.
You guys said there was an Italian guy with a stand?
Yes, the chef.
He has Pearl Jam.
Okay. I was hoping it was like garlic or... Are they shaped?
They look like little baby cherry tomatoes with arms.
Okay, so they are like weird, and like some of them are like weird.
Yes, some of them are not humanoid.
Okay.
Most of them, from what I've seen in parts 3 and 4, are humanoid. I'm not too sure about part 5 onward.
They get weirder. So not all of them are humanoid. Humanoids are generally the easiest ones that show up, but there are enough that are different, especially once you hit part 7.
Okay.
And
they stop being super humanoid. They have a lot of different ones.
And one non-humanoid one that we showed you, Ryan, the Power Tower.
Superfly.
That looks like an electrical tower.
Will literally trap you inside it.
Just the sheer ridiculousness of that. Oh my god. Since we're not covering most of the stands in part 4, we may bring these up again when it's time for you to guess stands episode 2. But it would be interesting. What would happen if a person with a stand gets hit by an arrow that gives you a stand? Ryan, what do you think would happen?
If you got hit with an arrow that gives you a stand?
When you already have one.
Already have one?
Yes.
Well, I guess it takes it away.
That might be the logical idea, but no, it's not the case.
It gives it a bow and arrow?
It gives it new abilities.
Oh, wait, how's it get? Where's the arrow coming from? Why'd they add that?
The arrow is the explanation as to why stands exist at all in the world.
Okay.
That gets into more detail once you get into part 5 about why it exists and how it came to be. Mm-hmm. In this case, we just know that Dio had a handful of those, and they got spread around. So that way he could get more users to be on his side.
Because apparently many people say JoJo is about trilogies, and that's why people are saying that there will probably be a part 9, because Araki's only in his late 50s, I think, so he could do part 9 without any problem, because parts 1, 2, and 3 were Dio based, parts 4, 5, and 6 were the bow and arrow as an underlying theme. Parts 7, 8, and 9 are kind of in a alternate universe type of thing. I don't know. But this gives Killer Queen a new ability. Another one bites the dust.
Mm-hmm. Bite so dusto.
Bite so dusty.
Which allows Kira to rewind time 1 hour.
That's
the thing is, he doesn't know when it activated. If it goes through enough iterations, he might go, oh, bite the dust activated. I don't know what's going to happen, but I know that it did.
Well, and anything that happened prior, like if something gets broken, also breaks in the new version of the events.
So if
for random reasons, like for instance, let's say a teacup broke, right? Well, you could randomly be holding the teacup in the next version of reality, and all of a sudden it just cracks and breaks, and you have no explicable reason as to why. The other downside to Bites the Dust is that Kira does not have Killer Queen anymore. Killer Queen is in whoever he uses Bites the Dust on.
Those are like the power moves?
Bites the Dust is the move. Okay. Killer Queen is the stand.
And Killer Queen is inside their eyeball.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, that's cool.
Basically, the trigger for it is because here's the thing, right? We get to the point where everyone discovers who Kira is. They track him down. They get him literally cornered until he gets into this one place. It's called the Cinderella Spa, which we had an episode about at one point, that allows you to change your face, fingerprints, anything about yourself with other people's. Well, he kills a guy, drags him in there real quick, and forces the stand user that allows this like facial replacement and stuff to forcefully change it, and then kills her. Now he's lost again in society, and he's forced himself into this person who he's killed's family while looking like that person. So Bites the Dust is then shoved onto the son, who has discovered that Kira is replacing his father because he's not acting the same anymore. And now if the kid tells anyone, Bites the Dust will activate and kill the person who found out, who he told, and then reset time.
So his plan is essentially have Josuke and all his friends get killed so that he could reset time to his normal flow, have them stay dead, and continue living a quiet life.
Yes, see, here's the other thing with Bites the Dust. Once Kira resets Bites the Dust, whatever the reality is he resets it on stays permanently. Any of the other ones will be overridden by what happened at that point.
All right.
So the thing is, Kira's not son, I forget his name off the top of my head. So since Hayato knows what's going on, he is trying to prevent all these things from happening. And I think it said it takes him about 5 time loops to realize that JoJo is coming late because he woke up late, got delayed. So he called JoJo and said, hey, get up early. Don't forget you have this thing.
There's even a point where Hayato tries to kill himself because he's getting like to the point of like such despair at failing to be able to stop any of this from happening. And then Bites the Dust triggers and is like, nah, bro, you can't kill yourself. I'm going to keep you from using this knife to kill yourself. And then resets everything.
Damn.
So the kid's stuck and can't even kill himself to get out of it.
And oh yeah, so even after, if he killed himself, it would still rewind time?
Yes, because when he first finds out and confronts Kira about it, he dies. Kira kills him. And then Kira gets the Bites the Dust ability and resets time to when Hayato is alive.
Okay.
And implants him with it.
And I did find Kira's monologue. I was just chuckling throughout this entire thing because a few episodes prior to this, when he had his original face, there is one stand user who is a bit of a little asshole. He was like trying to mess with Kira, thinking, oh, I have the best stand. Like, I'm just going to steal all your money because you don't want to mess with me. So Kira corners him at his middle school and just starts monologuing about, like, my name is Yoshikage Kira. I work as an employee at the Kameiyu department store, and I try to be home every day by 8 p.m. at the latest. I don't smoke, but I occasionally drink. I'm in bed by 11 p.m. and make sure I get 8 hours of sleep, no matter what.
It's like monologuing about how normal he is.
Although if there was a fight, I wouldn't lose to anyone. Just the monologue he gives. And Shigechi is just standing there like,
what are you talking about? For anyone, look, here's the point. If you haven't figured it out already, we're spoiling this because we're discussing the whole thing. We're about to get to the point where we get to an ending. So if you don't want to know how this completely ends, sign out now. So you've got your heads up. How, Orion, do you think this ends?
Honestly, I think they fight each other.
There is a fight.
Somebody dies, and then the time gets reset. Somebody really important dies, or something crazy happens.
There is a character that just about dies.
And then time is reset for them. Possibly in any situation they would die anyway. That can't be saved.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how many times they rewind, something happens.
Okay.
Let's see. Maybe the world is sentient to that.
The world?
Or something is realizing that the time is being pushed back, so it's reacting by not allowing this person to be saved or revived.
That's a cool idea, and it would work way better in Fate than it would in JoJo.
Okay. Actually, it kind of reminds me of, what the heck is it? Was 11. I'm trying to think of the book that Stephen King wrote about the JFK assassination.
Oh,
11,
that! I've heard of that.
I've heard of it. I don't know what it is.
67 or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
I just screwed up the name of the book so bad. But you know how in all of his books he has the force of evil, it, and it's basically the same. It's the blackness or whatever, something like that. That realizes that's reality's being tampered with.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
So no, unfortunately, it's not as insane as that.
Okay. Well, he is 10% right that Hayato, since he keeps reliving the same hour over and over again, he realizes what's happening. So
yeah, we get some Groundhog Day effects going on here.
So, as I mentioned earlier, he calls Josuke and says, hey, you need to wake up early. Don't forget about this thing. So Josuke arrives earlier than he did in previous timelines. So Kira is found out about. So, and remember, Killer Queen is still inside Hayato's eye and can't be used while Bites the Dust is active. So Kira needs to turn off Bite the Dust, essentially making time flow normally so that everything didn't happen.
Yes, because he undoes it before the first person that ever found that Hayato ever told would have died. So it's found out about right away, and it's stopped. So the next thing we get is the fight between Josuke and Kira. Okuyasu's there too. He ends up dying. We get a nice fight. Okuyasu somehow comes back because apparently he met his brother in the afterlife, and his brother said, "Nah, get the fuck back in your body, you dumbass. Essentially.
It's like, hey, don't you want to fight? Well, you can't fight here. Oh, better go back then.
So, Kira is at the point where he's just about beaten. He gets tossed out into like the middle of the street where everyone's seeing him. And because the house itself that they were fighting in is lit on fire, there's like a whole bunch of emergency response vehicles there, including like an ambulance and fire trucks and all that stuff. Well, Kira goes to implant Bites the Dust quickly into another person's eye, the EMT or whatever, the nurse that shows up there and was helping him, and resets time.
So can any stand just pick who they want to stand with? Or is that just
it's
her?
developed by the person who's shot or who was born with it.
Okay. Oh.
Here's the thing. It didn't reset. He thinks it did, but it did not.
Oh, shit.
Because that's what you realize. Kira doesn't remember that Bites the Dust is active. He goes, wow, I'm back. I push back time, when he is not supposed to.
He's not supposed to remember what happens when Bites the Dust activates. Only the person it's in remembers it.
Huh.
So, The last episode or two, this is a thing that's been pretty much stamped into our brains. The fact that the Bites the Dust resets and all of a sudden Kira remembers what happened and that he reset it should not be. He should not remember that. And it's your first hint right there that, wait a minute, something ain't right here.
And then you find out that a lot of stuff happened when Kira was half passed out, I want to say, because how could he not remember Echoes activating, stopping his hand? And
he was about to activate it. Echoes, Act 3, whose ability is to literally make something weigh a shit ton more the closer he is to the person or thing that he's using it on, forced him so that he couldn't press the button to activate Bites the Dust and reset everything. So, yeah, I would say he's delusional because of, injury and blood loss at that point. That it's hazy remembering that stuff.
And then Kira gets hit by an ambulance and dies.
Yeah. The heroes didn't even kill him. He got hit by an ambulance that backed up over his skull.
So the heroes, although the heroes won, they didn't technically win.
It's that big thing at the end of nah, you didn't win though. There's no way to say if they would have actually beaten him or not, or if he would have gotten away had that ambulance not backed up.
So he is in Ghost Girl's alleyway, and the thing is, to escape the alleyway, you must not look back. So Kira looks back and gets dragged into hell.
After our Ghost Girl tricks her. We don't even know if it's hell, though. They never say.
Oh yeah, she says, I don't know what lies on the other side, but I'm sure you will go to hell.
And that's a thing that they brought up when they first met the Ghost Girl in the alleyway, was this little trick of to get out, you can't look backward. You need to keep going straight. Well, they've used that trick twice to defeat an enemy. In the end, here's Kira. There was previously another enemy they used that on. And it's something you didn't think about until that point. Because it wasn't a thing to really worry about. It was a one episode off idea.
Oh my god. This is Oh, we forgot what might be Orion's favorite stand.
Oh?
Stray cat.
Oh. So, remember when we were over at your place and I'm like, oh, hey, look, that cat reminds me of JoJo, that British blue there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a cat in this that has a stand.
Wait, the cat itself has a stand?
Yes.
What?
Animals can have stands.
Remember Iggy from part 3?
Yeah, looks like your dog. He has a stand. There was a hawk in there too that had a stand.
Well, Stray Cat died and got reincarnated as a plant.
It does.
It still has the same stand powers, but the power is it's able to like manipulate air, and more than anything else, it's able to shoot out like pressurized air, is what it does.
So it's this maybe 2-foot-tall houseplant that behaves like a cat.
Which apparently Killer Queen has like this storage compartment in its chest, like a freaking rental locker that just comes up, and he's like storing Stray Cat in there so it can shoot out air bullets and turn those bullets into bombs.
It looks like a plant?
Yes. It's a cat that gets reincarnated as a plant.
Oh my god.
And the plant starts taking on cat-like qualities.
Yeah. That's pretty funny.
It's insane. I told you, Brandon, this was going to be one of your favorites because of how ridiculous it is.
Oh my god, it is. And let me just send you Stray Cat in the Skype messages.
Because, like, you could say that, like, part 3 was the prototype to be like, all right, what can I do with stands? And then part 4 is just like, what can't I do with stands?
They're cool looking.
So this is on your many to watch list, right?
Yeah, I might put it to the front because I already started watching some of it. So
yeah, but I would say part 1 and 2, since they don't have stands, they're not the least interesting, but the least insane.
Okay. And how many episodes does each season have?
This
Well,
is 39. It changes based on what season it is.
Part 1 and 2, which were technically the first season, has 26 episodes. I think it's 9 for part 1 and 17 for part 2?
It's something like that.
Yeah, and then Stardust Crusaders has 2 26-episode seasons, and this one had one 39-episode season.
Okay.
So all and all...
And they're 26 minutes, 20 minutes episodes?
20 minutes.
About full length episodes, yeah.
Okay.
So you're looking between
all
like
and
25-ish minutes.
About 100... over 100 episodes between the 4 seasons.
Okay. That's not terrible.
Part
That's
5 is
like
also 39 episodes.
But we will be covering that potentially
next year
or next season, quote unquote.
Whichever one comes first.
And people can find it legally. Crunchyroll. Yep. Okay.
GoGo Anime has it.
Verve
is also Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw Pluto TV has it.
Yeah. I watched it on there too.
Okay.
Because I flicked between the anime and then if the Nickelodeon has like Kenan and Kel on or SpongeBob, that's like the only thing I watch in there.
Yeah.
Or Beavis and Butthead.
I tend to watch American Gladiators.
Dude, I watch that. Yeah, I forgot about that. I watched that the one day. When it's the old ones, it's better.
Yeah.
Because all the dudes had like perms.
Oh my god. How to describe? I've got it. Hey, Puppet Pal Clam.
Oh god.
Puppet Pal Mitch. I guess that's the way. That's the only way I can tease it, but but much darker and action-packed.
Hey, Puppet Pal Clam. What's up, Puppet Pal Mitch? Hey, Puppet Pal Clam. Knock jokes for you. Oh, knock jokes? Knock. Who's there? Bonk on the head. Bonk on the head who? Bonk on the head.
I hate it.
Okay, so if you have any idea what we're talking about, we're doing that.
Like it already.
I'm really interested because I saw a few clips of it and I am 100% into it. So, catch you next time, everybody. Later.
Yeah.
See ya.